What is up, Insaners? It's the international break, so no Premier League games this week, but we're here today with a video in which we'll be reviewing the Game Week 29 fixtures. We'll see how our team did for this game week, and most importantly guys, we'll be talking about our plans for Game Week 30. Later in the week, we'll also be doing a strategy video for the next 5 game weeks from Game Week 30 to 34, so make sure you check that out. That video will cover some of the best teams and players to target, along with tips on how to use your remaining chips, and what should be your approach for the end of this season. Exciting stuff guys, smash that like button if you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel Insanely Football if you want access to all that good stuff. We are moving closer to hitting 500 subscribers on YouTube. It's been a really interesting journey so far, and I would love for you to be a part of the same. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon if you want to get notified of our coming videos. Let's get into the games for Game Week 29 then. There were only 4 games that happened in Game Week 29 because of the FA Cup quarter-final in the same week, and the first game was Fulham vs Leeds. Leeds won the game 2-0 with Patrick Bamford scoring 1 goal. He had a really good game guys before he was taken off in the 77th minute. I don't think so he was fit enough, and that knock on his hip did force a lot of managers to sell him, but I'm pretty sure that would have been very frustrating. The other player who was a standout for me and has been there for quite some time was Rafinha. He's just a treat to watch, isn't he? He scored the winner against Fulham. I have had him in my team when his ownership was probably less than 1%, and I'm so glad guys that I have stuck with him all this while. He has been a bit unlucky this season. Leeds haven't been able to finish the chances that he's created, especially Bamford. This game week itself, he created 4 chances but didn't get any assists. Dallas also looked good in all ways that you would expect. He missed a massive chance with 10 minutes to go, but overall he was pretty decent. Now coming to Fulham, it was a huge loss for them as they missed the chance to move out of the Premier League relegation zone with a 3rd defeat in 4 games. They were losing 1-0 before Anderson scored from Lookman's corner. That was his first goal in English football guys. Fulham created a lot of chances after that, but just couldn't get ahead in the game. Lookman was a player who got a lot of managers interested this game week, and he had a very busy game. He had to keep Luke Ayling in check throughout the game, but he provided a great assist for the Anderson goal. I think Josh Maja was another one who got a lot of managers interested this week, especially as a differential pick, but he had a pretty quiet game. He didn't get any clear-cut chances and was taken off at halftime. Now this defeat guys keeps Fulham 2 points below Newcastle and 6 off Brighton after their win against Newcastle. Our next game of the week was Brighton vs Newcastle. It was a huge 6-pointer guys, and I was a bit surprised to see Brighton winning this game so comfortably. I wasn't really expecting the Seagulls to win the game 3-0, and the way Newcastle gave up, it looks like they are the favourite team to go down this season with West Brom and Sheffield United. I'm sure most of the FPL managers were expecting a Brighton clean sheet, and that came out right. I have to say it was a pretty comfortable day for the defence. Weltman played in a back 3 and he didn't go much forward. He still created that great goal by Trossard. Now Trossard and Gross both look really good going forward and gave Brighton a lot of goal threat. Trossard was also the highest scorer for this week, getting 14 points. Now guys, in terms of their forwards, Maupay and Welbeck look really good, and this is what Graham Potter would have expected from them for most of the season. They've really played like a top side this season, and it looks like they're not going to go down this year. Now coming to Newcastle, who needed a win more badly than Brighton, but they just didn't put up any fight in the game. They looked poor from the start. To be honest, if I was a Newcastle fan watching that, I would have been surely worried. They were the second best team throughout the game, and they really threatened a comeback. Now in terms of stats, they only had 1 shot on target, though Fraser did come inches away from an equalizer when he fired against the post shortly after the break. But that was about it. Overall, I feel it was a very disappointing performance from the Newcastle team. Now let's talk about the game of the week, West Ham vs Arsenal. Both teams played out a 6-goal thriller at the London Stadium. If you saw the game guys, you would have clearly made out that it was a game of 2 halves. West Ham crushed Arsenal in the opening 30 minutes, scoring 3 goals and absolutely dominating every area of the pitch. Now to be fair, Arsenal came back in the first half through a Thomas Souček goal where he couldn't have done much about it. It was pretty unlucky to be honest. Now one player that really impressed me in the first half was Jesse Lingard. Now what a time he's having. From not at all featuring for Man United, he came to West Ham, he's played well and has completely revamped their attack and has also got an England call-up. He scored 1 goal and created 1 goal in the game and looked very dangerous. Mikel Antonio was another player who did very well but should have won it for the Hammers. He hit the post and he should have scored from 2 yards out. The second half in all honesty was all about the Gunners' revival. Odegaard was instrumental in their fight to get something from the game and he looked pretty good. Alexander Lacazette was another one who was great against West Ham. He scored 1 and had his shot deflected in for the other. It was a classy performance from the Arsenal forward. Like seriously, from 3 goals down and looking like shambles, Arsenal came back to deservedly get a point. I am sure Arteta would definitely hope for a lot more consistency from his team if he wants them to do well in whatever's remaining for them this season. Now guys, let's get into our final game of the week where Spurs face Aston Villa away at Villa Park. Another game guys where Jack Grealish didn't feature and things look really difficult for Villa if he's not on the pitch. Tottenham won the game 2-0 and that is Tottenham's 6th straight win at Villa Park. Now before this game, Spurs had a week to forget as they lost the North London derby against Arsenal along with crashing out of the Europa League in a pretty embarrassing fashion. They're now 6th going into the international break, 3 points behind Chelsea in 4th, and a place in next season's Champions League definitely remains in their sights. Mourinho made a lot of changes in this game, 7 to be exact, and dropped Gareth Bale in the process. Tottenham were solid, showing resilience in defense. They also looked threatening, especially on the counter-attack. Lucas Moura was my pick in attack and he looked really menacing in the game. He made a great run in the penalty area and put in a pinpoint cross for Vinicius to finish and get his first goal in the Premier League. Kane also looked sharp and got his goal by scoring the penalty and giving Tottenham a 2-goal lead. Now as far as I remember, Villa failed to have a single shot in the first half for the first time in nearly 7 years at their own ground. They got into good areas in the first half but never showed the quality in the final third. To be honest, that's what is missing for them at the moment. I'm sure they can't wait for Jack Grealish to come back. Other players haven't really stepped up to the task, struggling in the Villa captain's absence. Now guys, let's talk about our team and how we did for Game Week 29. We had 11 players playing this week if we counted Son, but as he was out, we managed to get through this game week with 10 players. It was a really good week for us and we managed to get 67 points. Now this takes us well within the 100k mark. We've reached a rank of 78,000 for now, the best this season, and our aim is to quickly get to 50,000. We are 67 points behind 10,000 and that is what we are aiming to get by the season's end. It's going to be challenging, but that's what this game is about, right? There were some huge performances this week along with some pretty average ones. I think 2 particularly stand out for me. One of them is in defense. Veltman from Brighton had a brilliant game against a struggling Newcastle side. He played in the back 3 but still managed to get the assist for Trossard's wonderful goal. The clean sheet helped him get that double-digit haul and I'm really happy about getting him in our team for this game week. The other defensive picks did okay in their games, but nobody got a return. Martinez in my opinion was probably the worst player in defense. It's not very often that we say that, right? He definitely had a game to forget and was largely at fault for Tottenham's first goal. I think the other pick that stood out for me is Jesse Lingard for his first half performance against Arsenal. Guys, he ran the whole show for the first 30 minutes. Arsenal's defenders were literally a joke and it would have been hard to watch if you were an Arsenal fan. His performance tipped off for sure in the second period as Arsenal gained momentum, but now he's managed 6 attacking returns in his 7 games for West Ham. It's massive. It's like having another Gundogan in your team. Probably even better if you compare both players right now. Rafinha in our team also had a good game, scoring the winner for Leeds, lifting their London curse. Yes, they finally won in London. What a relief this would have been to Bielsa. Guys, Leeds are playing good at the moment and you have to give credit to the Brazilian winger. I think the biggest disappointment this week was from our biggest premium differential, Aubameyang from Arsenal. We had high hopes from him, but it was a pretty average performance from the Arsenal attacker. He just didn't look up for it. He looked tired probably because of the Europa League midweek game. I'll be honest guys, I brought him for this week and I wanted to see his performance before the Liverpool game. Now I'm not really sure whether I want to play him next week against Liverpool. Now coming to our forwards, this was definitely one of the best weeks for them as they scored a combined total of 25 points if we remove the captain double points. Harry Kane looked good against the Villa defense and got 7 points. So not the worst captain return, but yeah, we might have taken a punt on Lingard, but we instead went for the safer option in Kane. I think Antonio could have also scored more points, but he got 7 points at the end, getting 2 assists in the game against Arsenal. I would definitely love for him to get on the score sheet, but it was just not meant to be. Patrick Bamford from Leeds was the pick of our forwards, giving us 11 points. He definitely looked off pace as he was not match fit, but he was involved in both Leeds goals and was his first double-digit haul since Game Week 21. Guys, he's now scored 14 goals this season, and honestly it's a surprise that he's still transferred out, considering what value he's providing at that price range. Now coming to this really interesting section, where we talk about our team for Game Week 30. Now guys, these are just some initial thoughts, and the team might look a bit different before the deadline this game week. This also depends a lot if someone gets an injury during the international break, but for now this is the team I have in mind. We're going 3 at the back with Martinez in goal for probably his last game in our team. He has been a very important pick for us. There have been times when we've been struggling in the game week and he's bailed us out. To be fair, Aston Villa are not looking great in defense and we are thinking of replacing him with Mendy from Chelsea on a wildcard in Game Week 31. This week Martinez is facing Fulham, which is definitely going to be tricky, but I'm hoping to get a decent return from him. Our 3 defenders at the moment are Ruben Dias, Luke Shaw and Aaron Cresswell from West Ham. All three don't have the easiest of games this week, but they definitely have the potential to give us an attacking return. Now there is a strong case to play Dallas in the team as Leeds are facing Sheffield United, and I honestly see some goals there. Right now guys, he's the first player on our bench and ready to come if someone doesn't feature. In midfield we have fielded 4 players with Son hopefully getting back to fitness after he withdrew from his international commitments for South Korea. Our other midfielder Rafinha should get an attacking return if Leeds score against Sheffield United. He's definitely playing in the 11 in Game Week 30. Lingard and Gundogan look good for their games against Wolves and Leicester. I don't think I would want to make any changes to the midfield for this week in terms of any transfers. Now guys, as you can see, Aubameyang is on our bench. Liverpool are still pretty average defensively, so there is a chance that he might feature, but then it's against Gundogan or Lingard, and we might not want to drop either of them from our 11. Gundogan might or might not start this one. Man City have a huge Champions League game against Dortmund, and Pep might save his best players for that game. We'll see if we want to replace him with Aubameyang, but definitely not making a transfer move on the City midfielder this week. Guys, we're mostly playing this week with 3 attackers, with all of them having a potential to score big. Harry Kane against Newcastle is a great captaincy option too. Newcastle looked really bad at the moment, and Kane looks good for a big haul. Our second forward Patrick Bamford should also be fit now that there's a break in between. The game against Sheffield United is at home, where they've struggled to perform. I think a lot of it would go down to the bad pitch, but Sheffield looks down and out, so it's worth playing him if you have him. Our third forward Antonio against Wolves is also someone I would watch this week very closely. I'm also looking at a Wolves defender on my wildcard, and this week should be a good eye test against the dangerous Antonio. Now guys, in terms of the transfers this week, I think my team is looking in pretty good shape for this game week. I might not make any transfers, or if I'm making one, I might just take a risk this week. I'm gonna think a lot more, but if I'm confident that I'm playing my wildcard in Game Week 31, I might just do something completely off the book. I'm thinking of getting a Chelsea midfielder just for this week and probably replace them on my wildcard. Now I could do this for Son, Aubameyang or even Gundogan and play him ahead of these 3. The West Brom game looks really good from an attacking point of view, but then they also have the important Champions League game against Porto. Guys, it's always a guess in terms of the Chelsea starting attackers, and it is a bit risky. Now defense is a much safer option with Rudiger and Azpilicueta in mind for our wildcard team. Now in case if I have to go for a differential punt, it has to be Havertz ahead of Mount, who would be in a lot of FPL teams for this week. Guys, I think we'll see if this makes sense in the coming days, but I don't think I have any other transfers in mind. Obviously not having Bruno Fernandes for this week is another risk, but he hasn't really looked that great in the last few weeks. He looks tired and overworked. We're mostly not getting him for Game Week 30, but we might consider him ahead of the likes of Gundogan, Rafinha or even Son, who blanks in Game Week 33. As we have 6 million in the bank, all 3 players are easy to replace, and we might get Bruno for the Leeds game. Guys, we'll definitely see once the players return from the international break, what condition they are in or if someone's injured. So I guess that'll be all for today's video guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this with me. Let me know how you did this game week. Also tell me what do you think about the Chelsea transfers for my team. Do you think it's stupid or even worth it? I would love to know your thoughts. Guys, please do hit the like button if you found this video useful. Also do subscribe to our channel Insanely Football for all the good FPL stuff. We will be back with a strategy video mostly on the weekend, so do watch out for that. I hope you guys are having a good break, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you Insaners next time.